Picture this. The year is 1985. Anime isn't cool yet. Streaming doesn't exist. Most people outside of Japan have never even heard of the word anime. Then, a mysterious man rides out of the darkness on horseback. He doesn't say much. He carries a massive sword. One of his hands can actually talk. And for millions of anime fans, this was their first encounter with gothic horror anime. This is the story of Vampire Hunter D. Back in the 80s, there was no streaming services, no TikTok edits, no YouTube essays. If someone wanted to watch Japanese animation, they had to hunt for it. Then, one title quietly appeared. No colorful heroes, no giant robots, no tournament arcs. Just a lone man riding through a dead world, hunting vampires. His name was D. He barely spoke. He never asked for attention, but somehow everyone remembered him. But what was so fascinating? Why? Why are people still talking about this character 40 years later, when hundreds of vampire animes have come and gone? To understand why people still talk about D, you have to understand the world he lives in, because this isn't just another vampire story, it's the end of humanity. Imagine waking up 1,000 years in the future, the cities are gone, technology has become myth, and the creatures humans once feared in fables are now the rulers of the world. These aren't mindless monsters, they're called the nobility. Elegant, powerful, almost immortal. To humanity, they're gods. For ordinary people, survival isn't about defeating vampires, it's about living long enough to avoid becoming their next victim. Then, out of the darkness comes someone who doesn't belong anywhere. Not human, not vampire, both. That's what makes D so fascinating. Humans fear him, vampires hate him, and D never truly belongs to either world. He's fighting for people who may never trust him. And that's why D isn't remembered because he's the strongest. He's remembered because he's alone. Every victory cost him something. Every town treats him like an outsider. Every road he rides by himself. But D's loneliness is only half the story, because the world that created him was unlike anything anime fans had ever seen. Here's the strange thing about D. He's not the loudest anime hero. He doesn't give long speeches. He isn't chasing fame or revenge. Most of the time, he barely speaks at all. And somehow, that's exactly why he works. Every time D walks into a town, you already know two things. Someone is terrified, and someone isn't making it out alive. But D isn't just hunting monsters. He's hunting the last remnants of a dying empire. Every vampire he faces is a reminder of a world that refused to let humanity survive. That's what makes D different from so many action heroes. Winning doesn't change his life. Saving a village doesn't give him a home. The people he protects usually fear him just as much as the creatures he kills. Imagine spending your entire life saving people who will never truly accept you. That's D. He's not just fighting vampires. He's fighting loneliness, he's fighting prejudice, and the burning question, can someone born between two worlds ever belong in either one? Then, there's one of the strangest decisions the series ever made. D's left hand. It talks. In almost any other anime, that would completely ruin the mood. Here, it does the opposite. It reminds us that beneath all the silence, D isn't completely alone. But here's the part that really made Vampire Hunter D legendary. Admire this artwork. Back in '85, nothing else looked like this. A great character can make you remember a story, but sometimes a story can change the way an entire generation sees anime. When Vampire Hunter D arrived in 1985, it didn't look like anything else. This wasn't the bright, colorful world many people expected from animation. This was gothic horror. Dark castles, forgotten civilizations, monsters that looked like they came from a nightmare. A huge part of that identity came from artist Yoshitaka Amano. His designs weren't just creating characters, he was creating an atmosphere. He didn't look like a traditional hero. He looked like a painting that somehow came to life. Vampire Hunter D found an audience outside of Japan. For many fans in the West, this wasn't just another anime, this was an introduction. Before streaming, before anime was everywhere, people were trading tapes, searching video stores, and discovering worlds they had never seen before. And that's the secret behind the success. It wasn't just about vampires. It wasn't just about the sword fights. It wasn't just the animation. It was the feeling that you have discovered something forbidden, something mysterious, something that wasn't made for everyone. You can see echoes of Vampire Hunter D everywhere. The lonely anti-hero, the beautiful monster hunter, the worlds where humanity is barely surviving. It helped open the door for fans who would later fall in love with darker anime like Ninja Scroll, Berserk, Hellsing, and countless other gothic, dark fantasy stories. But the biggest reason people still talk about Vampire Hunter D isn't because it was the first or because it was the most violent. It's because D represents something anime rarely captures: a hero who saves the world but still feels completely alone in it.